So here is the report on QBE that we put out on the 15th of August. So a couple of days before the share price collapsed, we made reference to the fact that it would fall towards $10.80. So I'll pull up the chart and show you exactly how I arrived at that. So this is a daily chart of QBE. We could see that it peaked in May and has been struggling ever since. I'll just zoom out for you. So basically we could see how it's gone since 2016. But let's just zoom back in. So these are the key things that I've been looking at on the QBE chart. So firstly, we could see a fall here. The stock tried to rally, but then it collapsed again, and then it's just been drifting sideways. And this was the point where I got very negative on the stock. Firstly, it looks like it's fallen in 5 waves. So the way I was able to anticipate this over here is firstly looking at the way this low point did not get overlapped by this high point. So I'll just grab a couple of lines here. Let's try that again. Okay, so we could see here that after finding a low here, call this wave 1, tried to rally for wave 2, got smashed for wave 3. Now in terms of Elliott wave, the third wave is usually the strongest and is never the shortest. And I've called this wave 4. Now in Elliott wave, there's something called a rule of alternation, which says that if wave 2 is pretty simple, and we could see this is pretty simple, wave 4 is more complex. That seems to be the case here as well. So the fact that at this point the stock failed to overlap this low point and was failing, I suggested a drop towards 1080 in order to finish the 5 waves. Now I'll get rid of these lines. Now one way to determine that price target is to essentially measure the wave 1. So I'll grab a little Fibonacci tool and I can measure the length of that there, and you can just overlay it. In terms of the breakdown point. So let me just delete that. I'll show you again. So this is wave 4. Grab our little tool here, and in terms of where it breaks out, puts us around this sort of 1080-ish region. I mean, give or take a few cents. You know, it can be a little bit subjective, but it gives us a rough target. Now, the other reason why I thought that would be an interesting level for QBE is if we zoom back out and use our Fibonacci tool to measure the whole of this rally from the November low to the recent high, you'll notice it's come all the way back to the 61.8% retracement level. So that's essentially how we were able to see that, look, we've got a wave down there, second wave, third wave, very complex fourth wave, and QBE should eventually trade down there, which is where it is now. So that's how, using a bit of Elliott wave and also some Fibonacci retracements, that's how we're able to, I guess, arrive at a downside target of around 1080, and that helped us avoid the 10% drop in the last couple of days. So hopefully you learned something from that. If you want to, if you're not a client and you're not getting our research, I mean, feel free to sign up for a free trial or ask us more information on how you can gain access to this sort of reporting.